Despite the promises of a fresh start, I remarried, hoping for happiness for myself and my daughter. Jake, my second husband, was younger than me, and I believed we could build a life together. But he didn't keep his promises. He didn't treat me or Anna the way I had hoped. One day, Anna had an accident and was rushed to the hospital. In a panic, I called Jake, pleading for him to come quickly. "Please, come to the hospital." I cried, desperate for his support, but he refused. "It's my mom's birthday. I don't care about someone else's kid," he said coldly, before hanging up. That moment marked a turning point. The next day, Jake's life would unravel. I'm Isabella, 35 years old, a dedicated office worker. My family consists of Jake, my husband of almost 2 years, and my 7-year-old daughter, Anna. Some might wonder about the gap between our years of marriage and Anna's age. Jake and I remarried after I lost my first husband, who was a kind man and a loving father to Anna. His sudden death in a car accident left me shattered. If it weren't for Anna, I might not have made it through the dark days that followed. My family supported me through that overwhelming time, helping me regain my strength. When I finally began to heal, I met Jake through work. He surprised me by confessing his feelings. "Isabella, I really like you. I want to be with you. Please think about marrying me," he said earnestly. His words were unexpected. Jake was charming, bright, and could talk to anyone with ease. I liked him too, but I never imagined he'd feel that way about me. At first, I turned him down, unsure about starting over, especially with a daughter in tow. But Jake, with his youthful enthusiasm and sincere determination, made me feel like maybe, just maybe, we could be a family. He even expressed his confidence in being a good father to Anna. "I'm great with kids," he assured me. "I'll make you both happy." Curious, I introduced Jake to Anna, who was only 5 at the time. Jake played with her, laughing, giving piggyback rides, and quickly winning her over. I began to believe that this could work, that he might be the one to help fill the void left by my late husband. But doubts lingered. Jake was extremely close to his mother, having been raised by her alone after the death of his father. I'd overheard him say to me, "I owe everything to my mom. I have to cherish her." His devotion was touching, but it made me uneasy. When he was around her, he was a child, dependent, doting, and always eager to please. Yet, with me and Anna, he acted cold and distant. I overheard his mother once say, "Jake could have done better than you," and it stung. I had hoped that after marriage, Jake would choose our family over his mother's influence, but I was wrong. Once married, Jake's true nature began to show. He refused to help with anything at home. Even when I asked, he'd complain about being tired or dismiss it as my duty. He spent his weekends glued to games or watching boat racing online while Anna, eager to spend time with him, was left to play alone. Despite being a grown man, he was spoiled, irresponsible, and spent money recklessly on gambling and drinking. I was the only one saving for Anna's future, because Jake couldn't be relied upon. Jake's pickiness with food was another issue. He refused to eat vegetables and only wanted meat and fish. I struggled to balance what he wanted with what Anna needed for her growing body. Every time I tried to incorporate healthier options, he'd push them aside. When I brought it up, he'd storm off to his mother's house, sulking like a child. It was exhausting. One day, after another petty argument, Jake left for his mother's house, and I received a call from her. Instead of supporting me, she sided with Jake. "Jake's always been like this," she said. "He prefers my cooking, and I don't eat vegetables either. You're his wife, but you can't even make the right choices for him. He's in his prime. Meat and fish are more important to him than anything else." Her words were a bitter reminder that I was the outsider in this family. Over time, I considered divorce but hesitated, unsure if I should throw away what little hope I had left for a second chance at happiness. Then something happened that made everything worse. When Anna turned 7, she started piano lessons. One day, I was running late due to work, and I asked Jake to take her to class. His response was typical. "I don't want to. It's too much of a hassle," he said, his voice full of reluctance. I asked him again, hoping he'd agree to drive her since I didn't have a car. "Please, just take her. It's important to her." But Jake refused, citing his mother's birthday party as his priority. "I need to go to my mom's," he said, his tone dismissive. "It's not a big deal if Anna misses one class." I was livid. "It's not about skipping class. Just take her to her lesson first. Then you can go." But Jake was unmoved. "No. I'm not risking my car for your kid. You should have planned better." Hearing him call Anna "your kid" struck me to my core. Despite marrying me and vowing to be a father to her, he still treated Anna like an afterthought when it was inconvenient for him. The tension between us escalated, and Anna, sensing the brewing argument, stepped in. "Mom, it's okay. I'll run to class. Please don't fight with Dad." Her words, innocent yet full of concern, broke my heart. Anna shouldn't have to bear the weight of our failures. And yet, there we were. I'm the only one in our family who's truly committed to securing a future for my daughter. Jake is absurdly picky about food, like a child. He refuses to eat vegetables and insists on only eating meat and fish. Even when I take the time to chop up vegetables and sneak them into dishes, he simply pushes them aside. Meanwhile, Anna is growing quickly, and her nutritional needs are important. I can't just keep serving Jake his preferred meals all the time. When we argue about this, Jake storms off to his parents' house, sulking over something so trivial. I can't believe it. His immaturity never fails to astound me. One day, a few hours after Jake left for his parents' house, I received a call from my mother-in-law. Instead of defending me, she sided with Jake. "Jake values me more than you," she said. "He prefers my cooking. For someone his age, meat and fish are more important than vegetables. I don't even eat vegetables myself. You should be more considerate as a wife." It was clear that Jake's picky eating habits were a result of his overindulgent mother. She had always allowed him to eat whatever he wanted, and now that he was an adult, it was clear he had never outgrown that. There's a limit to being an overindulgent parent, and I had reached mine with Jake. The idea of divorce crossed my mind countless times, but the thought of remarrying again made me hesitant to take that step. Looking back, though, I realize I should have ended things sooner. Then something terrible happened when Anna turned 7. Anna loves music, so I enrolled her in piano lessons, and she was thriving there, with lots of friends and lots of fun. But on one particular day, everything went wrong. I had a ton of errands the day before and was already behind. I had urgent work to finish at home, and the piano class was looming. Normally, I would walk her there, but today I didn't have time. Jake has a car, but when I asked if he could drive Anna, he refused. "No, I don't want to. It's a hassle," Jake grumbled. "What's in it for me? You're overreacting. She can skip one class. Let her take a break." I tried to reason with him, explaining that I needed to get her there, but his response was cold. "I'm not lending you my car. I'd get in trouble if it got damaged. Besides, it's my mom's birthday, and I'm already late to join her." I was stunned. "You can take Anna to her piano class first," I suggested. "It's not like there's a time limit on celebrating your mother's birthday." But Jake's response was even worse. "I want to get there first and be the one to give her presents. I didn't buy that car to drive someone else's kid around." Hearing him call Anna someone else's kid made my blood boil. He had promised to be a father to her, but when it was inconvenient for him, he treated her like a stranger. We argued back and forth, and Anna, sensing the growing tension, tried to intervene. "Mom, it's okay. I'll run there, so please don't fight with Dad." Anna's words struck me like a dagger. We shouldn't be arguing in front of her, and yet here she was, worrying about us. It broke my heart to see her caught in the middle of our mess. Jake just huffed and walked out, leaving me shaken. Moments later, I received a call from the police. Anna had been in a car accident. I rushed to the scene, my heart pounding in my chest. I arrived just as Anna was being loaded into an ambulance. She was pale and barely conscious. "Anna, please stay strong. Don't leave me, sweetheart," I cried, gripping her hand, but she didn't respond. The familiar fear gripped my heart again. My ex-husband had died in a car accident, and now, my daughter was in the same situation. I got into the ambulance, trying to call Jake, but he didn't answer. In my panic, I called my parents and my brother, and they rushed to the hospital immediately. The doctors told me Anna's condition was critical. She had suffered a head injury and was unconscious. The sight of her so fragile brought back memories of my ex-husband's death, and I thought I might collapse. Fortunately, my brother was there to support me. I finally reached Jake by phone, but when I told him Anna was in an accident, he responded with shocking coldness. "What's all this nonsense? I'm in the middle of my mom's birthday party. Why are you bothering me over some kid? Anna's just a kid from your previous marriage. Handle it yourself." And with that, he hung up on me. I was in complete disbelief. To hear him dismiss Anna's life so callously made me feel like I was drowning in anger. I couldn't believe how cruel he had become. My brother, who had overheard Jake's words, was furious. "Does he always treat you like this?" he asked, shaking his head. I had no more secrets to hide. I told my family everything. They were furious. "You need to divorce him," my parents said. "No one should speak to you like that, especially not when Anna's in danger." Miraculously, Anna survived the accident. After intensive treatment, her condition stabilized, and she woke up a few hours later. The relief I felt was immense, and my family also breathed a sigh of relief. But the next day, Jake returned in high spirits, humming as if nothing had happened. When he saw my parents and my brother at the house, though, his confidence faltered. I decided to take charge. "Did you enjoy your mom's birthday party?" I asked coldly. Jake tried to act nonchalant. "Yeah, it was fine," he muttered. Ignoring his attempt to avoid the conversation, I got straight to the point. "We're getting a divorce. Sign these papers. Let the lawyers sort out the details." Jake paled at my words. My brother stepped forward, his voice cold and firm. "Jake, I'm disappointed in you. You were supposed to take care of my sister, but you've neglected both her and Anna." My brother, who had been a mentor to Jake at work, now made it clear that he would no longer tolerate Jake's behavior. With my parents' house being a gift for me and Anna, Jake had no rights to it. If we divorced, he'd be out. Realizing the gravity of his situation, Jake's bravado crumbled. He broke down, begging for my forgiveness. "I'm sorry, Isabella. I'll change. I swear. I don't want a divorce. Please don't leave me." I couldn't bring myself to feel sympathy for him anymore. His desperate pleas only made me feel contempt. "I've been trying to make this work, but you've done nothing but take advantage of my kindness. I can't do this anymore."